What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is God knows what night. I think it's Wednesday night, might be Thursday night. Who knows? It's all been a blur for me since Monday night, but I know it's been a blur for you guys as well as Georgia Bulldog fans. Look, as most of you know, shout out to the Grinch. As most of you know by now, I'm not necessarily like a Georgia fan, right? I've tried to explain to some people that what I am is a fan of good football, which makes me a fan of the way Georgia plays football. Does that make sense? Just like I enjoy watching a boatload of Alabama tape, just like I enjoy watching parts of Dan Mullen's offense, but don't like Dan Mullen as a head coach, right? I can separate these things, but it also means when like magical, like massive things happen within your fan base, the fan base that you guys love and spend so much emotional and even financial investment in, when massive things happen in those markets, I don't know how to convey those words, right? I try to think of myself as a wordsmith, even though I'm an idiot and I stumble over words all the time. But I can't convey how it felt as a Georgia Bulldog fan to wait 41 years and finally have something like that happen, and in the way in which it happened on Monday night. So the only way I know how to do it is to patch in a bunch of lifers, a bunch of people like you, right? A bunch of Georgia fans that have been through the ups and downs, that can walk through, Tyler Simmons and the order of operations when it comes to the way you've been screwed as a fan base. I don't know how to do that, so we're going to patch in people that do, okay, starting with a group of really close friends that are all around this community. They've all jumped in here at times when it comes to our content. First of all, Jamie Goodman, a good friend of mine, Justin Nichols, shout out the best videographer and photographer we have over at SI, Dan Kiley, and Robert Crosby, who, guys, you should know by now. They've been patched into our podcast platform here on the Film Guy Network for quite some time. Gentlemen, how are we doing, by the way? It's just, first of all, let me stop that, okay? First, rule number one, when you have 6 people on a Zoom or a StreamYard or anything like this, never throw it to the collective group. So let's go one by one, okay? Jamie, my man, okay? What's the last 48 hours been like for you, brother?
Man, it's a whirlwind of emotion. It's the highest of highs without any lows. It's pure joy. I mean, it's tears. It's more than you can describe. I mean, it's just, if you want to know what pure bliss feels like, that's where we're at.
Just as high on the mountaintop as you humanly possibly can be, right?
On the very top.
None of this other news and reality that, oh my God, off season starts now. None of that stuff matters right now. You'll catch up on it later, kind of thing. Is that how we're feeling?
That's right. I mean, and nothing should matter today. Like you said, it's been 41 years. I mean, why stop now and pause something that you can continue? You can live this for an extended period of time. We waited 41 years for it. By God, I can celebrate it for the next 41 if that's what I want to do.
100%. Let's get this payoff right quick, just because I want it so bad. And he already knows. He's shaking his head. Justin, you were live, about 18 rows up in Indianapolis. How's your last 48 hours been, my man?
Man, the Dogs won. So what else is there to say, right?
That a boy. That a boy.
There.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, man? How's it? Is it just the voice? I think you were telling me before. There's no strain to it.
No strain. My wife kept telling me, "Oh, you need to stop talking, or you drink some water, or all that." I'm like, man, I feel fine.
I feel terrific. I just sound like Todd Monken
here. Exactly. Man,
Hoyt just joined us. Hoyt, move to your left a little bit there, bud.
My bad, sweetheart.
No, you're good. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Who else has a voice?
Just you. I think it's just you and Justin that are struggling with your vocal cords there, pal.
Well, I like Justin's hat, so we'll call it legit.
Yeah, you guys are twinning up right now. Rob, how are we feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Like you said, the last 72 hours been on top of the world. I don't think I'm ever coming down.
Excuse me, Cam. If I remember correctly, you and I had a verbal agreement on a podcast that we've done that glorious tree that you've got over your right shoulder. Can you move? Yeah, that one right there. Pardon my language, but that mofo got to stay up for eternity now, right?
Oh, it's never coming down. The Natty tree is staying up.
Natty tree. It's a Natty tree now. No longer a Georgia Bulldogs Christmas tree. Coming live from the House of Pain, we have Dan Kiley. Dan, how we doing?
Man, everything's great. Like Jamie said, it's just like pure bliss right now. Nothing else matters. Like, I don't even care about the transfer portal. Like, you're posting all that information. I'm like, everybody leave. I don't care. We got our national championship. Let's go.
All right, so I texted all of you guys one question today, kind of to get your thoughts. Just Georgia fan wins a national title, 41 years. I don't know how to frame it up and make it, mythical and all sweethearted and whatnot. Jamie, what did it mean, man? Like, as simple as I can ask it, what did it mean to watch the clock strike zero, you're a national title winner?
Wow. Everything. I mean, it means everything to a lifer. I mean, it's the chains were removed. There's no more boundaries. There's nothing left held over our head. I mean, it was the moment you saw your first child being born. It was when you kissed your wife at your wedding. I mean, it is right there with that. It means every single thing.
Good Lord, you might make me want to pick up this fandom thing again. I mean, that sounds like sex times 1,000. Hoyt, thoughts? You were there in the stadium, and I saw videos of you. You were visibly crying. Okay.
Yeah. So much like
you look like you've been crying for the last 48 hours.
Much like me with sex, then. Yeah, there's a lot of crying that goes on. You can't explain it. I know, as Georgia fans or Braves fans or Falcons fans or whatever, we would always get told 2nd and 26 or the SEC championship or prayer of Jordan Hare, like all that. I'm not going to cuss. All that stuff that we went through.
It's YouTube. It's not the radio. Feel free if you want it. You got
it. All that shit we went through, man. They all said it would make it more. It would just mean more when it finally happened. It would feel so much more amazing. And 2nd and 26 doesn't haunt me anymore, man. There is no more haunting. That all got me. That all got us. I shouldn't say me. That all got us to the point we are. That was the tears, and the tears weren't just that. Like, we talked about it earlier today. There are some great moments that I have been able to ride. Pasadena, 2002 SEC Championship, South Bend, like you name it, we got to ride. But to get payoff for it, finally, 41 years, and to be in that stadium and see grown men, yes, even me, just bawling. As soon as Keely picks that and takes it to the house, I didn't see Keely score because I was in tears. And all these videos that are on Twitter right now of grown men crying, you pass this on because you love it. But you hope there was payoff for that person you passed it on to. And there are fathers and grandfathers and everybody else that passed it on, and there was payoff on Monday night, man. You can't explain it.
All right, let's knock the cashed out voices back to back. Justin, thoughts? You win a national title. You're in the building. Okay. I believe you were with your sister and your parents. Is that what I saw?
Well, I'm not in Alabama, so I was with my wife.
Oh, my bad. That's on me.
It was on the other side of the stadium.
That's
exactly.
On me. It's on me.
But no, I mean, the best way that I can explain what I was feeling is just kind of talk about what happened on that. It was specifically that pick six by Ringo. Well, everybody else, you got their own ways of expressing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for whatever reason, just immediately dropped to my knees right there in the stands and just couldn't say anything. Was just kneeling there. Everybody's freaking out. And I finally, by the time I can get stood up, everything's spinning around. And the only thing I can think of, that's just, for me, obviously a little younger than the rest of the group here, but 27 years of being raised as a Georgia fan with all the 1980, with all everything we've talked about, right? That's just gone, being rushed out all at once, and just knowing right then and there is like, just every other game against Alabama, we're waiting for that one moment that, okay, well, now the game's over, right? Or
we're gonna talk about that one moment here in a minute too. We're gonna rehash some horrible memories and some moments, I'm sure, because I want y'all to put me in the seats where you were, or in your bodies when you see Branch just have an egg dropped in his basket and magically have a foot in bounds. Cam, downstairs from the Natty tree, you win a national title. The curse is broken. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't even think I've begun to process.
That's what I was waiting for. I know some of you guys still don't believe it. I know some of you still think like, I don't know. We'll wake up a couple days. We were sleeping.
Well, yeah, I'm still waiting for us to, to call up and them to say, well, actually, he didn't cross the goal line. That wasn't a big six.
Bamboozled, led astray.
Absolutely, man. I still can't believe it. I mean, it's like everybody's been saying. I think anybody can understand how excited you are to win a national championship, just that sense of elation, just to win, right? Any fan base can get that. But I don't think there's another fan base in the country after going through all the stuff we've been through that you just don't understand that cathartic moment it is to realize, like, it doesn't end with heartbreak. You're not having your heart ripped out. Like you said, you're not going to work tomorrow and hearing 2nd and 26 or a 1980 joke or anything like that. And I mean, it's amazing. And just so much, just happy for the players, happy for the coaches, everything, man. I mean, we all made it to the mountaintop, but they're the ones who made the climb. And I'm just so appreciative of that.
So poetic. Did you write that shit today?
Yeah.
Did you write that today?
Oh, side note, we all were a part of getting to the mountaintop too. Don't you lie or say any of that. I know they put in the work, but we had our hearts broken too.
Yeah, for real. I will say though that maybe because you finally won one, the negative energy, because like every time something bad ever happens, it's just negative energy overload. But let's finish off positive thoughts with Dan. Dan, where were you? What do you thought? What were your thoughts when it happened?
It's funny because you listen to so many people talk, and he talked, like Hoyt just talked about the prayer Jordan here, and the 2nd 26, all the stuff. That's all relatively new stuff that's happened to us in the past 10, 15 years. I remember my first game in the stadium when I was a Boy Scout and I was an usher, and I'm watching Rodney Hampton race down the right sideline for 70-something yards against Georgia Tech, and I'm losing my mind. And that's the first time that I've ever seen the Dogs play in person. And all those memories and all those things just came flooding back. And to me, like it was with the Ringo pick, when he's running it, that's when it hit. It's like, because you're always expecting the next bad thing to happen. And they had the ball and they were driving down the field and they're like, oh my God, please, dear God, don't let this happen again. I don't want to do overtime. No. And then he picks it off. And then everything you remember, it's the way I guess I picture death is that you have like all these memories flooding in your head. And it's just like I'm watching him run down the sidelines, and I just stood up and I started screaming. I don't even know what I was saying. I'm sure
Keely Ringo's interception was DMT to you. Is that what I just heard?
That was like tunnel vision. It was like this. It was just this narrow vision where every single memory I have of being in that stadium, watching all the bad things, just they're all vanishing into a black hole as he's running down the sidelines. And I cannot believe it's happening. I'm yelling, every cuss word in the book, go, you son of a, it was just amazing. It was just that.
Jamie, I know, first of all, Jamie Goodman's birthday. Can we get a golf clap for Jamie Goodman's birthday? My man won a Natty, had some Natty Jeremiah, and now he's getting some Jeremiah, a little birthday. You know what I mean? That's an inside joke for the 2000s babies that like R&B music. They won't get that. Jamie, what do you got, buddy?
I was talking about Ringo, and I mean, he's a 10-3 kid, right?
Yeah, for sure.
A 10-3 kid, and it took him every bit of 15 minutes to get from interception.
Oh my God, he looks so slow, but he was so fast.
It was just never ending. It's like I had time to process everything that was going on.
Every bit of it.
I was looking at every block in the back that they were about to throw a flag for. I was looking on all the carpet. There was no laundry. There's nothing yellow. I mean, I'm scanning everything, and every time I'd look up, he's like almost to the 50.
By the way, guys, like, I'm a football guy. Incredibly stupid play. There are so many things that can go wrong there.
Right.
There was more than a minute left in that football game, and he's trotting down the sidelines, and all it takes is one guy to pop the ball out, and it's an entire new possession. Horribly stupid play, but incredible play to make the interception.
Now, Bama had 3 timeouts though, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying get your ass down, bro. Like make them burn the timeouts. Make them get down. I mean, whew.
In hindsight, yes, but
yeah,
let me relive that moment again.
I mean, but like for history's sake, thank God he didn't get down. I mean, we get 100 years worth of Scott Howard's call, which, by the way, like. I want to ask the question, well, we got 2 guys with cooked voices, but if anyone's got a Larry Munson impersonation, I would love to know what it would have sounded like had he called that. That would be exceptional.
God. So there is on Twitter right now, someone went through all of Larry's, not all of them, but
I'm gonna mess around. You keep talking. I'm gonna mess around with StreamYard, see if I can get it loaded up in here.
They took all these different
stats,
calls.
Isn't it? It's Josh, right?
I believe so.
He at least tweeted it out, right? Shout out Dawg Stats on Twitter.
Yes, I retweeted it as well, and they take Munson saying Alabama from a game, hell, I don't know, in the 70s, and the exact 3rd and 10 and everything else, and they put it together as best as they could.
They laced the audio as best they could.
It's so well done.
My God, yeah, I got to hear that.
All right, let's see if I can share some type of audio here. You guys keep talking. Let's just talk about like the interception. You guys were in the stadium. What was the vibe in the stadium, if you could? Jamie, we'll start with you because I know you got to go at some point tonight.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a pure explosion. I mean, it's like the place erupted. And I can only speak for those around me because I didn't venture outside of my seats at all. But my whole section went crazy. And it was a mixed crowd once he finally hit the end zone. I mean, it was people standing on their seats. My wife was like collapsed in her seat crying. I was literally in a state of shock. I mean, it was just it was any form of raw emotion that you can picture took place simultaneously amongst 70,000 people.
Insanity.
I have a question for you. Since I was not in the stadium, on TV when he intercepted it, it sounded like a shotgun blast. There was like an audible, loud shotgun blast sound as soon as that ball hit his hands. Could you hear that inside the stadium?
I have no idea.
That's the right answer.
Blackout, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
you guys, people who are in the stadium now know what athletes talk about when they talk about it's just a fuzz.
Yeah,
I don't. You hear the noise, but it's not specific or directed. You're just. That's what it sounds like. Just. That's it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what it sounded like.
Not that I've played in front of 80,000 people, but I've been told. I got friends. They tell me these things.
Shorter doesn't have those kind of crowds.
Hey, you can just go on and take that somewhere with that attitude. Okay. I mean, good God. The Munson call. Okay. Also, how do we feel about Howard? I know it's outside the kind of the discussion of the magnitude of the moment, but we're talking about moments that are going to live in Georgia lore forever, right? So, I mean, Hoyt, you're the radio guy. What does the radio world say about Scott Howard? Don't hold back.
So here's
personally, I like him. I rock with Howard. The call he had on N'Kobe Dean, dinner's cooking, on the pick six at Florida, that gets me every time.
So people outside of the fan base don't like what Scott does with the yelling, the overmodulating, and everything else. But we grew up on Larry as well. We grew up on a guy that said we, not Georgia. He said we and talked about it in second person. So I love it. If you want to say he's over the top, fine. He's over the top, though. Like, he's speaking to us. Now, I will say this. He was sick as a dog Monday night, man. And you can hear it in his call. Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
I talked to Adam about it, too. He was sick as a dog. And that's, I guess, the hardest part for him is
it was his flu game?
Yeah, it was his flu game. And that's going to live on an infamy that he's going to hear that all the time. But on that Ringo pick, he gave it everything he had.
Man, I haven't heard it, but I hope he doesn't feel like – you think that's kind of itching at him? I mean, you win a title and you're not at like peak form.
It's his body, man. How you gonna knock it? Now the best part is if you listen to the Ringo pick, he calls it, and you hear this.
That's my favorite part right there.
In the background, screaming. So he's the producer of it. He's not supposed to make any noise, but he just loses it. That like everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, to hell with all that rules. You're supposed to. If like those guys wear the G, man. Like the radio announcers do the we thing, brother. You are a school employee. You rock the G. You're the only one that's allowed to do it and walk around the damn stadium. If you want to say we, if you want to be excited because you won a national title, guess who else does? Your audience base, the people who are listening to you. The reason Larry Munson's as great as he is well, first of all, super charismatic, obviously one of the greatest to do it, but because the fans knew he was one of them, like that's important, I think, to that specific position, Hoyt.
Yeah, and Larry just had a way of calming you. You know what? He just told the truth. You always talk about with your stuff, like, just shoot me straight. Like, if it sucks,
just be real. Just be real.
Just when we flip the tape on, tape's gonna tell the truth. So Larry's just telling the truth to us the entire time. If we suck that day, he told us.
Yeah, no doubt. Where should we take this next, gentlemen? We got so many different topics to hit. I guess this question is, what's next? Like, you go through this drought, right? You've walked through the desert, okay? You've walked through the desert for 41 years. It wasn't it 40 years in the Bible? That's kind of weird. Okay, you walk through the desert for 41 years, titleless, okay, and you finally reach your destination. What happens after this? As a Georgia fan, do expectations change? Dan, you got something to say. Do expectations change? Is it now not only this might be our year, but this better be our year? How does this work for you guys?
I feel like that it was that seal. It just needed to be broken. And that's just the way I feel about it personally. And I think there's a lot of us that feel the same way too. It was just, you just got to do it the one time. And that's why for me, it was so important that it was Alabama, because you get a chance to beat Alabama. And now the seal is broken. And you, like, for me personally, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I just feel like it's time for his run to start. It's time for Kirby's run to start. This could be a run of, 5 championships in 10 or 11 years.
So I will say this, and I did tell the Patreon audience this, I think this summer when they built the new facilities. I had a close source tell me, they said, look, Georgia now has the best facilities in the country. And it won't be like that for long, because it's always an arms race. They'll just keep building new ones, but it's beside the point. It was, hey, Georgia now has the best facilities in the country, or top 5, and we'll always have that now, especially with the new AD. And all it's going to take is a national title. If that happens once, the door's busted open, because every time an Alabama recruiter comes in here and tries to take a Will Anderson, when we show up late, it's because Alabama's got rings, it's got titles, and they're in the cupboard. Okay, well, now Georgia has those, okay, and they've already been recruiting at a top 3 level. I was told, like, it's been a Ferrari with like a tack measurer at like 125. Like, you can only go so fast in it, and now that chip's pulled, okay? Literally, you got one now. So now it's just pin it, okay? Just go as fast as you can and win as many titles as you can in as short as a window as you can. The only problem is, if you've been reading over on Dogs Daily, my God, there is a long list of players that could or could not be on that roster next year. So if it is 10-2 next year, and I'm not saying it is, let's start there. If it's 10-2, is that acceptable? We'll start with you, Cam.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right? I mean, the amount of goodwill that Kirby's earned can survive he can survive a 10-2 season. He could probably survive a 9-3 season, and nobody's going to say anything. Now, if you start stringing,
I think 10-2 is the floor. By the way, I don't think it ever gets worse than that. Not until the SEC SC East figures itself out.
I mean, I don't think so either. But I mean, even the most pessimistic, just want to dog talk, everything the coaches are doing, fans. I mean, as long as you're not stringing those seasons together and you're continually in the hunt.
Yeah,
like
it was the third 7-5 season that got Rick fired. I got this Munson clip. I've never tried this on StreamYard, so let's try it. Guys, I don't know what it's going to do to you, but if you can't hear the audio, just shake your head and throw your hands up. That's how we'll do radio from now on, okay?
Look at the clock, and Alabama's got 3 timeouts. Dogs lead for the first time. We've been behind for 17 hours. Now we got a lead, but Alabama's got 3 timeouts. Everything now is extremely large. Georgia suddenly has climbed on top.
My God.
Holy shit.
I've got chills.
I've got chills.
I wasn't even watching. I was watching you, Cam. Your mouth, your face was just like.
I hadn't heard that. I mean, that's amazing.
That was absolutely phenomenal, guys. Do we have? I want to give credits to somebody on that. I found the YouTube. Here it is, right here. I'm going to share the copy of the link in the YouTube notes right here, because whoever spliced this. First of all, Randall Young, whoever you are, you have a job with me, young man, young woman, whoever you are. You have a job with me immediately, okay? The ability to chase that audio clip down and lace that over that is absolutely phenomenal. Y'all go like that, share it, do everything you can. That needs to get millions of views from Georgia fans. That is absolutely phenomenal. I'm a goof for Munson, because we listened to radio growing up. Like, that's what I did. My stepdad, when we were in the car, it was strictly radio, AM radio too, like the fuzzy stuff, the stuff that don't sound good. Like you walk around, you're like, why the hell are we listening? That's why it sounded like that, because it just first down, like every time you listen to it. But it's something about it, man. So it's just beautiful. That was incredible work. Jamie, thoughts?
Wow, yeah, no, I'm speechless. I'm more speechless now than I was after after actually winning in the stadium. I mean, for me, I grew up on Larry. I mean, I remember winning in 1980. I don't remember loving it. I remember being 5, and I remember my neighbor, who was the principal of my elementary school, had a black Labrador retriever named Herschel, and I ran out up and down the fence with him. So yeah, my earliest memories of Georgia football is walking through the woods prepping for deer season with my dad, and they'd all have their vehicles with the doors open and playing the Georgia game. You'd hear Munson through 1,200 acres because they were strategically located where we'd never miss the game. And to hear that in this moment, that's man, just another check on the list of that everything I told you this meant.
Absolutely. So I got to ask this question. Okay. It was a moment that, I mean, I thought was going to be obviously a transcendent moment in the game, but the fumble, right? The Stetson Bennett fumble, you know, I think it was Branch, who was it? 14 over on the sideline, catches it kind of with his left hand, and his 1 foot's in bounds. Okay. The fumble in and of itself, awfully questionable from an unbiased opinion. Okay. I know you guys were in the stadium, but on the TV copy, to me, it looked like right there at the 90-degree rule, where I consider whether or not, like, the line of, hey, is this ball going past 90 degrees? Like, that's arm moving forward. That is not, right? And that ball passed out right here and just went straight up in the air. So very questionable call. But at that point, as a Georgia fan, I know what you're thinking, but I want to hear you say what it is that you were thinking. Hoyt, at that moment in the stadium, all the reviews, probably felt like it took 25 minutes. What are you thinking? Here we go again?
So, yeah, they got us again. Now, here's the issue. In the stadium, I'm pretty sure they're showing us what they're looking at in the booth or when they're looking
what they're supposed to be doing. Same thing with the TV copy. Supposed to be.
My biggest issue was they only showed Stetson's arm going to the 90-degree angle once, and then they went back to the foot again. And I was like, oh my God, they've already said it's a fumble.
Yeah,
like
so
they're
checking
immediately.
Yeah,
they're checking the feet. I will say this. And it's lasted a long time in Georgia that you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop and things to go. That place never gave up, and they could have. And we could have easily said
Discord sure as shit did.
You could have easily the crowd never gave in. We could have easily said, all right, that's our moment. That's our Tyler Simmons offsides, or whoever, Najee Harris being false start or offsides as well. That should have been called that wasn't. But they never did. There was this different feeling in the building, at least, that not today, bitch. Not like you're not getting me this time, no matter what you do. And by the way, Stetson did as well. Yeah. He played his best game after that fumble. That's
his
the most
best
amazing
quarter
part
of the year.
That's his most amazing part out of all of it.
I also felt like they're like right at that 8-minute mark when they got the ball back. There's 8.5 minutes left. They scored, I think, in 3 or 4 plays on like a 50-yard bomb to A.D. Mitchell. That drive specifically. I noticed it seemed like Todd was finally like, all right, gloves off. If we're going to win, we're going to win right fucking now. Like, we're going to win right now.
He had to.
He had to. They were so, like, he was so conservative, especially in the first half, because it looked like his quarterback was about to wet down his leg. And then he finally settled it.
For the first 3 quarters, Stetson played terrible. I don't care what else anybody says. That's the facts. But after that fumble, he played amazing. But I said, what did I text you the minute that happened? Before the ruling came in, anything like that?
The one of 14 text messages
whatever.
I got from you?
I text you, we're about to get fucked.
That's what it was. We're about to get fucked. And then it happened, you said fucked.
Yeah. So, but that immediate drive, Monkey came out and said, to hell with it. Like, we're either going to win it right here or we're going to get it right back right now or we're done. And that was – when he did that, I looked at the clock. I was like, "There's 10 minutes left. This game's not over. We're like he's going to open it up now." Like, and Stetson went on to have the best 10 minutes of his entire life for that 10 minutes. And you know what? That takes a hell of a lot out of a kid to play that poorly up to that point and know that everybody's going to blame you for it, and then come back and just absolutely play the best effing ball that we've ever seen at Georgia for 10 minutes.
Hey, Hoyt, have you guys already extended an offer over there at 680 Fan to make it Stet and Buck at like 7 o'clock? Buck and Stet?
Like,
Buck and Stet?
No. Buck. And well, we got to come up with a better name than Buck and Stet.
Stetton Buck.
No.
I like it.
How about Buck and Bennett or something like
That's
that?
what I was thinking. Buck and Bennett.
There you go,
Yeah.
Buck and Bennett, I guess. But like that's where he's going, right? Like it's
He
straight
can do
into-
whatever the hell he
yeah,
wants.
It's straight in there. Like,
Isn't
bro,
he
look,
like enrolling
look,
in law
hey,
school though?
He's doing something. He's gonna make a lot of money the rest of his life for sure.
I
Whatever
think
he's
that's
doing.
his career path. Is law
Man's
school.
never buying
Yeah.
a drink for the rest of his life.
Yeah, no doubt. If
Ever.
he is,
No, he's on my
shame
tab
on whoever's
forever.
there. He's on your tab. You're just gonna Venmo him.
Whatever.
I hope he likes golf.
I'll give him a card. He don't have to even call for a Venmo. He can
Just
just
get
have,
him a card.
yeah.
no
he can have
credit
one of
limit.
mine. Yeah.
Where's he
Doesn't
at in the
matter.
pantheon, though, guys? Seriously, like what does Stetson Bennett mean to Georgia football? Because Hoyt, I got audio files of you, Bubba. You
Straight.
you were
Straight.
not happy
Me and
about
Hoyt
this
are in
whole
lockstep.
this whole idea of him playing over JT Daniels. I heard about it for 4 months, guys. For 4 months, I heard about how it should have been 18. What is Kirby doing? And he stood by his guy, goes and wins a title. Now, you eat the crow and you're happy to do so, but my question is, I know you're wrong. You don't have to tell me you're wrong. My question is, where's he at? Like, where's he at in the pantheon? Because one of your guys that holds every single record book in the book in terms of Aaron Murray said 13's the GOAT. And I know he might just be doing the I'm a nice guy thing and doing the takes because Lord knows he's good at the hot takes, claiming that everybody was out of shape. You heard Kirby Smart take a shot at him, by the way. I know he's king of the hot takes, but he definitely said it. The dude's the GOAT. So where's he at in the pantheon?
That is a great damn question. Like,
I only
Greeny's
freaking ad-libbed for
always-
like 4 minutes to let you think of an answer.
Greeny's always going to be a damn good dog. Like, Shock could have left and should have left. And then you do the whole Stetson story. Stetson left and then comes back and everything else. And he was the walk-on. Like, it's a 30 for 30. It's a stupid Disney movie that shouldn't be true. And for some reason, I will put him up there. But first, I'm going to have to digest first off that a walk-on just won a natty for Georgia.
I don't have to digest anything. How many Georgia quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown and won a national championship in the same game?
0 1. It's just
One.
him, right?
One now.
Yeah.
There's nobody on the
Yeah.
mountain. Everybody is. I mean, they may be on the mountain, but there's only one QB on top of it. And the same way he got there. I mean, you don't have to be the biggest, strongest, and fastest to get to the top of the mountain. You've got to take your team to glory.
Herschel got a statue anywhere around that place?
No, it's off campus.
Okay, so
And same thing with
that's-
Dooley.
that's-
No, he doesn't have a statue. Dooley had a statue off campus, and that's up by Buttsmere.
That gonna get his on top of the goddamn scoreboard.
Well, it's
okay.
gonna be a little statue still. 'cause remember,
Little
he had the-
statue. Little statue.
It don't have
Okay.
to be big.
Don't have to be big. It gets the job done, baby.
Can I say one butterfly effect thing out of all that?
Sure.
Stetson goes to JUCO.
Yeah.
Justin Fields transfers to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Kirby got left with a Scully at quarterback. Who did he give that to?
Dwan Mathis?
Dwyer Mathis. There's
No,
Stetson.
it was Stet.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He brought him
come
back. Yeah,
right,
he brought him
because
back.
Yeah, to bring him back. So
Oh,
I'm
so
just,
you're butterfly affecting Justin Fields.
yeah. How about
Oh my
that?
god! Oh my god! He's off the hook for eternity. He's off the hook for eternity. You hear that? You hear that? Listen to me. No. We're going here. You listen to me, Georgia fan. You can't ever tell me he made the wrong decision with Justin Fields again because he chose Jake Fromm and it opened up a spot for national champion Stetson Bennett.
Thanks,
to hell with
Hoyt.
you.
Fields lost his championship, so
Yes, he did. Hey, praise Jesus on you, Hoyt. I
So
can't wait
compliments
to
of
do
Jake
that
Fromm
one.
is what you're saying, right?
I guess.
Whatever. It's amazing how you can add all the pieces together and you
Right.
feel much better
or as
4
a
years down
compliment
the
from App
road.
State.
I mean,
You want to go
look,
back further, the Eason injury. If Eason doesn't get injured,
Yep.
Fromm doesn't start. He doesn't start over Fields.
Oh man, dominoes, man, just all over the place.
And that's the
All
beauty
over the
of
place.
this is we can sit here and experience and relive and characterize all.
But
the
only because you've
scenarios
won. Only because you've won. Otherwise, it's pure agony.
No, that's
Pure
what
agony.
happened in
You
other
got that
words.
right.
If we'd have lost, y'all still wouldn't have heard from me by now. First off, I said I wasn't coming to. I told everybody in Discord I wasn't coming back for a week. They needed some time. There was no way I was
Yeah.
coming back to that. And
You would have lit a fire under
You put him
everybody.
on timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing that was ever invented in our group is the timeout clause.
Yeah,
Jamie,
need to
Jamie,
implement it way
do you
more.
need to bounce out of here? I know it's your birthday.
Yeah, I
buddy.
gotta go. I've still
All
got
right.
birthday stuff to
Can
do.
you tell? I know y'all got post game, podcast coming out over the Dogcast. Can you plug your stuff, please?
Absolutely. Find us anywhere you listen to your podcast, the Dogcast podcast. Go to dogcast.com, Dogcast on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere we're at, or anywhere there's social media, we're there. Come find us. The show should be dropping right now. We recorded at 6:00 tonight, so it should be out of editing.
That's
and
if Derek was
live.
doing his job, which is very, very questionable every once in a while.
Every once in a while, it is.
Every once in a
very
while,
questionable.
very questionable. Appreciate you, Jamie, buddy. Congratulations on your national title.
Thanks, brother. You
By the
guys
way,
have-
as he bounces out, I'll say nice things about him when he's gone. That dude goes to more Georgia games, he and his wife, than anybody I know. Okay. They spend a lot of time and money on the University of Georgia. And I know very few people who love the University of Georgia more than they do. So yeah, great people. And it's got a great podcast over there, the Dogcast podcast. Been around forever. I think since 2007, maybe. I think it was the very first podcast in the Georgia space. So go follow him on Twitter and go holler at his work.
That may have been the very first podcast ever in the history of podcasts. That's a long time.
Yeah, no, that's been a minute, baby. They do some numbers now. They do some numbers now. Hey, might buy them out over here at the Film Guy Network. Not just put some tea leaves out there.
Yeah, I don't know you got that cash, my guy.
Hey, Natty baby. Let's talk about what it meant to beat Bama, dog. Like that one's been ripping your heart out and stomping on it for a minute. Okay. I know you're going to tell me a lot of people said going into it, it doesn't matter. I just want to win. Just want to win one.
Bull crap.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start with you, Dan. How much more did it mean and why? I guess, other than the torment. No,
I said it earlier. It meant everything. And even the Georgia players, they were well aware of who they were playing. That's exactly who they wanted. That was the one thing they had to get out their back, because if you had beaten anybody else, let's say in an alternate universe, somehow Cincinnati were able to beat Alabama. You beat Cincinnati. Well, you didn't beat Alabama. You have to listen to that shit for the next couple, how many every years. So you beat everybody. You beat Clemson.
I guess it definitely matters because you lost them in the SEC championship game. Had they not gotten there, you would have been tormented by that the rest of.
But it was just the
fact
that
you actually beat them.
You had to beat Alabama,
yeah,
and you didn't lose to anybody else. You didn't lose to freaking Florida; they can't talk crap. You didn't lose to Tennessee; they can't talk crap. You didn't lose to Auburn; they can't talk crap. You didn't lose Georgia Tech. You didn't lose to anybody except for Alabama, and then you beat them. And that's the one team you couldn't beat, and now they're gone. They don't have that on you.
It's a great comment here from Jay Mees. Does this mean Kirby can go back to the black jerseys since you got over the Bama hurdle? I mean, come on, in marketing dollars, let's get them, baby. NILs, okay? Let's start. Brandishing some jerseys, put some names on them, maybe selling them. Can the state of Georgia figure out a way where college kids can start making some money on jersey sales? Huh? Please, anybody can figure that one out? Where next, Hoyt? You do radio. What are the topics we need to hit, man? Seriously.
I want to piggyback off the Bama thing, and just beating Bama and everything else. You did it the Bama way, by the way. That drive when you had
Blake Sims, Stetson Bennett, Blake Sims are like Spider-Man meme.
When you had that 1-point lead, and we've always heard built by Bama was always the thing they talked about in the fourth quarter. They always won the fourth quarter. Go back to the 12 matchup or 16 or 7. They're always more physical in the fourth quarter, always at the end of games. And you decided to take Zamir White and James Cook and run it down their damn throats, being more physical. That meant so much to me, by the way, saying I'm the bully. And Saban said it after the game. You kicked our ass in the fourth quarter. Yep. You did it our way. That was cool as hell to me.
I think the impressive thing to me, and I said it before the game, I think I said it on 680, Hoyt. I think I said, every time I watch Bama in those games, right, national title games, SEC championship games in January, late December, their 4 and 5 stars always make plays. Najee Harris is always jumping over a defender. Trey Battle is always pick-sixing, okay? Like, they always make the play that you have to do. I mean, Georgia made all three of them. James Cook, 70-yard run, huge play. A.D. Mitchell, touchdown, huge play. Keely Ringo, pick six, huge play. You made the plays. Like, that was the thing that was impressive to me because for years I watched the other team do that to you guys. So that had to feel great.
there were a few plays too. Like Bama put together, I forget exactly the number. Was this Lowe said 17, whatever the play drive was that was supposed to end in points for them, and Jalen Carter stops that field goal from going through. You run 17 plays on somebody,
and don't score. You're
supposed to get 3.
Yeah.
Move on though. Keely tracking down that tight end they had. That's a 4-point swing.
Trayvon Walker running down a dude is a massive play. Like, so again, man, like for years we've watched Bama make these plays. Not only did Georgia make them, they stopped Bama from making all of theirs. What, Justin or Cam? You look like you got something. Cam will go to you.
Well, I was going to say, just talking about the biggest play. I mean, I think the biggest play and probably the most emblematic play of the whole game. It's actually 2 plays, right? So it's when they're on the goal line, and Nakobe goes around Channing to break up the pass, right? Yeah. And he gets in Tyndall's face. And then the next play, what does he do? He sacks him, right? And that's the difference, right? That's the leadership and just the drive. And Nakobe Dean said, we're not losing this football game.
It's about drive. It's about passion.
Go ahead, Justin.
Well, and I was, what I think all this is the difference is, previous years, all those plays would have been plays that either they would have given up early. Keely wouldn't have gone after the guy. Trayvon wouldn't have kept pursuing. They would just like, well, I missed. I missed kind of thing, just giving up. Or there wouldn't have been accountability by Nakobe, right? That's the difference this season. All season has been pretty much the accountability. Exactly.
Skull sessions.
Every game, it's been every game we played like we should have, right? We didn't lower down to our other opponents. We didn't, we played consistent every single game pretty much.
Shout out to Coach Speak, man, because all that Coach Speak that he gives, that shit clearly works. Like, I mean, there was a lot of undisciplined, uncharacteristic things in both Alabama matchups. I think he had 6 penalties in the first quarter the other day. I mean, it was horrible in terms of discipline in the first. So uncharacteristic for them. The first game, he had a bunch of blown assignments and all that good stuff. But the crux of this team was always player led. I shout out Jeff Sentell. I know I'm giving a bunch of shout outs for competitors here. Jeff Sentell did an incredible interview with Dan Lanning after everyone was gone. Dan didn't even have a mask on. It was like, I'm off to Oregon. We're done. Like, he was so relieved, and you could see it on his face, but he gave such a genuine interview. And the thing that stood out to me about it, other than the fact that he and Jeff Sentell are apparently on first name basis, is the fact that he mentioned this the most player leaders he's ever had on a roster. The fact that he had so many guys that held other people accountable, like, that's what makes great football teams. And to me, that is the thing that if you can repeat that, that's what Alabama's figured out, how to hold the next class accountable. It's why they've been have such sustained success. If you can figure that out, if you could translate that from 2021's team to 2022, you don't have to worry about 10-2. Now it's your run to say, oh, well, Georgia always rebuilds. It's just Georgia, because that's what you have to recreate, the championship culture, right? In fourth quarter, when Kentucky's going on 17, 22-play drives, you say, oh, no, to hell with that. Don't care for up 21 points. You ain't getting my end zone. Dan, what's up?
So one of my buddies does pre and post game show for us on WDU, and he posted this tweet, and let me read it to you because I just hadn't crossed my mind, but this piggybacks on what you're talking about the next generation, right? It just dawned on me that all 3 touchdowns in Georgia's fourth quarter were scored by freshmen. On a team that was so defined by seniors and fourth-year juniors, it's easy to forget there are still sensational players who are just getting started at Georgia. And that is something that Alabama did to us every year. It would be Devontae Smith, the second and 26 play, was a young guy. For us, the game was won by our young guys. A.D. Mitchell with an amazing grab in the end zone. Brock Bowers scores the next touchdown. And then Keely, granted, redshirt freshman, but still counts. Yeah.
I mean, Lad McConkey ain't leaving after 3 years. I'm here to tell you that. I mean, maybe. I mean, holy shit, it might happen. But 5'11", 185, 190-pound slot receivers don't leave after 3 years typically. So he's going to be around for a minute too.
But my point is, our younger guys are the ones that did it at the end of the game. And
that
is
so much catapult. Of that. So much of that is like a turning of the tables moment, right? Like you beat them in such a style that they've historically won. Now, granted, the Bama fans are going to do the injury thing, but like your national title winning team last year overcame an ACL injury to a starting receiver. like your national title winning teams in years past have overcome injuries. You had it up until this point without Mechie. So it's just
they beat Texas because Colt McCoy got hurt.
I don't like doing but they got injured. Like, guys, watch how long you been watching football. It's football. Like, next in the byline of football says this shit gets you hurt. Like, it's right there. It's right there. This shit gets you hurt. You play this, you get hurt. So it's just a matter of the luck of the draw. And every time I think about it, or someone says, oh, well, this team's hurt and this team's not. Like, think about the Tampa Bay Bucks last year. All 22 starters from game one started in the Super Bowl. Like, that matters. That's like, you look at Kansas City, in that Super Bowl, both tackles out, gone. And guess what? They can't protect to save their ass. Like, it matters in every sport. It is the sport. In every level of it, injuries matter. And the time of those injuries matter. I think it's disingenuous to take those things away. Yeah, man. This isn't my show. This is y'all's show. So anything?
I have to give a shout out to Jeremiah. He just sent me talking about where Stetson falls on the pantheon of Georgia quarterbacks.
That's what we'll
do. He does have the best QBR and passer rating in UGA history. So he's. I think there's no way you can deny him number one.
But if you're being honest, there's not a single starting quarterback at Georgia that you take him over, except for maybe Hudson Mason.
Patone Bauta.
So this is a little.
See, I'm not going to accept Hudson Mason's slander.
That was a joke.
Hudson had a good year.
We're doing
that was a joke for you, Hoyt.
This is dangerous. We don't do this very often here on this platform, but we are going to open up the phone line. So if you want to call, the number's on the bottom of the show.
Oh, this is back to the early days.
Yeah, this is back to the early days. This is, this is a listener-led show as usual. So you guys feel free. Let me plug in my phone.
Can I be a bitch for a minute? All right. So my son doesn't understand. He's 5 years old. I have two sons. I got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And he knows we cheer for Georgia. He doesn't know why. He doesn't understand, yada, yada.
Can't figure it out.
All right. Well, no calls then. So it's just me giving my stupid story. And Saturday before we head up, we're talking about the game, and he's just trying to be Dad's friend. And he's like, who normally wins? Is it Georgia or Alabama? And I go, it's normally Alabama. And he goes, I think I want to cheer for the winners. And I was like, well, that sucks, but I'm not fighting a 5-year-old at this point. Maybe if we lose, I would have. But the next morning, we're heading up on the bus to Indianapolis, and it's 5:30, and Dad's got his bag, and I go on and just give him a kiss goodnight. He's not going to know. And he's awake, and I give him a hug, and I'm like, Dad, I'll be back on Tuesday. And he looks at me, and he goes, we're going to do it this time. And I start breaking down at that moment like he didn't know how much that meant to me. And I get home last night, and all I wanted to do was see him and hug him. And I get home last night, and I drop my bags as soon as I see him, and he runs into my arm, and he looks at me, and he goes, I told you we were going to do it. And it's just like, that's what part of being, and it's not just Dawg fans. Like, it goes across the board. It's not 41 years. I'm sure Red Sox dealt with a bigger streak, Cubs, everything else. But damn it, like, that's what it's all about. Like, I just wanted to come home and hug him and just see him, man. I got to spend it with my wife, which was cool, but I wanted to be and see him. That's what this is all about.
You're lucky he's not 14, Hoyt. See, that's the difference, because my 14-year-old sitting on the couch rooting for Alabama just to piss me off. So,
hey, Hoyt. Hey, Hoyt. If I told you that his son had a perm, would you believe it?
Dude, isn't that the look for all the kids right now? Anyways,
I don't know, but we got our first phone caller. This is dangerous. Let's go out to you. This is an Atlanta number 404. No names here because we don't have a pre-show caller screener. Who do we got? Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Jackson, man. I live in Boynton Beach, Florida now. I watched the game the other night, man, and let me tell you, that Keely Ringo interception, talking about ranking moments in Georgia sports history, Atlanta sports history, whatever, that's got to be number one. That's
Numero uno.
That's over, the Sid Brain slide in 92. I mean, that it's above all of that. Tell me what you guys think about that.
That's a great call. We'll hang up and listen, or you will. Hoyt, we got a Pantheon question, man. A Pantheon of Atlanta sports. I got another caller. Let me put you on hold. 335. We got a Pantheon question. Where is this at? Keely Ringo's interception.
First off, I love how you're just putting your phone number, your personal phone number
That's
out
not
there
me,
for
man.
everybody
It's
to
not my
have.
phone number. It's a WhatsApp. It's a WhatsApp.
Oh,
That's not
okay.
me. Hell
Never
no,
mind.
That's not me. I wouldn't do that. Are you kidding me? Would never do that.
Secondly, man, since slid, that's hard. The Justice home run and what Glavine did in Game 6, and the only reason I say that is because this is gonna hurt on this one. That's all Atlanta. That's Techies. That's Auburn fans. Like that's a whole group, a whole city.
Yeah.
It's not just one fan base. And by the way, the Sid Slid had a call to go with it. Like Howard's call on the Ringo one is great, but it probably falls number 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go out to our next phone caller. My boy, 335. First of all, who do we got the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, my name is Curtis. You know me as Whipping Post on.
My boy, Whipping Post. What's up, brother?
I'm good. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you guys. Hey, for me, I'm 52 years old. I vaguely remember 1980. I've got the 1980 Coke bottle in my kitchen.
Oh, you got to chug that shit right now.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to the hospital.
Hoyt said you're going to the hospital. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it.
Hoyt would do it. Hoyt would
Peer
totally do it.
pressure.
Hold on, guys. Go ahead.
This thing before. But my mind goes to Aaron Murray and throwing it to Conley at the 5-yard line. My mind goes to Matthew Stafford, who never saw a covered receiver in his life. My mind goes to Noshawn Marino, who made people look silly, but Rick never had a balanced team. My mind goes to Chubb and Michelle, who give everything they've got. And you watch these teams for years and years and years, and we're never a bad team. We're never 2-8. We're always, Rick won 10 games a year for 10 years or whatever it was. And you're at the post, you're at the edge of elite, but you're never elite. And I know that word got thrown around a lot. But this year, Georgia made the plays it needed to make when all the other teams didn't make the plays they needed to make. And screw those guys that talk about injury. Georgia was injured too, and Georgia's loaded next year. The question I want to kick around for you guys is this. I know that Georgia had this historic defense this year, and I know that the offense was sometimes inefficient. I think the story might be next year, reverse of that. But how good is Georgia next year? That's the question. How good is Georgia next year?
Appreciate you, Whipping Post. We'll take it off air or off the phone. How good can Georgia be next year? So to me, that I think that all.
Who cares?
Who cares? That's a great question. That's the vibe right
Natty.
now. That's the vibe.
Sorry.
That's the vibe. January 12th. That's the vibe. January 12th. 100%. We'll get to 722 here in a second. We got another one. They're lining up, man. We're gonna mow. Okay, we're gonna mow through these callers, baby. But no. Let me address this as an analyst, okay? And I know you guys are doing the fan thing, so you don't really care, but you really do. If you go 8-4 next year, you're gonna be pissed. So let's talk about it a little bit, okay? It really all depends on what the fringe dudes do, right? It was the same thing last year. Think about all the fringe guys that came back for 2021. They were on the fringe of draft eligible last year that played a role this year. Jordan, specifically defensively, Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt. Guys like Quay Walker and Channing Tindall would have been 4th and 5th round draft picks last year had they left. So those names are vital. They're gone. Okay, so same thing when we're talking about juniors that are now draft eligible defensively. That's major key. You're pretty young offensively. You're going to be okay. Defensively, guys like Nakobe, guys like Nolan
Lewis
Smith,
Seen.
guys like Trayvon Walker, Lewis Seen. Darren Kendrick was quoted before on his way down to Athens saying, if I'm not projected as a first-round draft pick, I will not declare. That's a lot easier to say than when you're projected to make $9 million in 2 months, okay? So we'll find out on all these things very, very soon, okay? We already saw James Cook declare today. I would imagine news starts coming down the pike pretty quickly on these things, including the decision of Stetson Bennett because he does have another year. Let's go out to 722. What do you got for me? First of all, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Hey, Brooks, this is Brody.
Brody, what's up, brosif?
Oh, man. It still feels like I haven't woken up from the dream yet.
Yeah, that happens, I would imagine. That's how I felt after I Lost my V card as well.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Mom, can you believe it?
Yeah, go tell your mom about that.
I'm 18 years old, so I haven't been alive for all 41 years, but I hope I'm not 59 the next time I see one.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't think you're going to wait that long. Look, I don't see a LSU type thing here. This is no drought. This is a start of a new era, I think, when it comes to success at Georgia. But do you have a question for me, my guy Brody?
I do. Well, first off, I just want to say I've been a season ticket holder with my family. We've been going to games since 2006. And I think this year of college football, and especially with the way things have been going, I think it's just important that, and this game means even much more that I got to go see these games in person again. Yeah,
I mean, I think, and I appreciate the phone call. I think my guy Josh Pate called it the Renaissance season, I think is what he called it, for that reason. We went an entire year without, fans or any type of engagement. The crowd noise, right? I mean, partial audiences are one thing, but 93,000 inside Sanford's a whole entire different environment. Guys, I know you've sprinkled across games all year this year. I went to a few myself. Thoughts on the environment coming back? What was that environment like inside the stadium? Because it felt palpable on TV there, Hoyt.
It was probably, I'm guessing, about 70-30. Kirby wanted to say 80-20 the other day.
Energy, though, the vibe. What was the vibe like? Was it tense? Could you cut it with a knife?
I was sick.
Was your butthole tight?
Yeah, I couldn't eat all day, and I just had to keep drinking. That's how I was, giving myself nourishment, stuff like that. But a lot of brown stuff.
There's calories in beer.
But the overall idea, no, there was almost, as much as getting beat on December 4th, I think a lot of people held tight to the beating somebody twice in a year and beating someone twice that good in a year.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't do that. I don't do it's hard to beat a team twice. Yep. Because if you beat them twice, they do it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Well, that's not wrong.
Is it just hard to beat a team? I think it's hard to beat a team. I think that's what it is.
How about this? The first drive, Nakobe took back a fumble to the house for 7. That was supposed to be us, and then we got it turned against us. And no, the building never quit. It's weird to say now. It just felt like it was our year, that it wasn't. That's how the building felt. They never gave up, man.
Well, even just the coin toss. I was listening back to one of the broadcasts.
We finally won a coin toss in the playoffs.
That was like the whole crowd just went crazy over a coin toss. That's like, it was just that environment guys, the entire time.
You guys, you Georgia fans are a different freaking breed. Y'all, the coin toss, y'all think everything is
you got
that's not a lie.
The coin toss.
So no, it was also, we couldn't be double dipped. And
see,
I thought
this is why I have you guys on, because I understand none of this. None of this.
No. It was the mindset of we could not be double dipped like we were in the SEC championship.
Oh, you can't be Belichick 14'd up.
That's what happened last time.
Yeah, that last possession of the half, first possession of the second half.
Exactly.
We got another phone call. Cam, you got anything? Okay. We're going out to 793. What's up, brother? Uh-oh. Do we have our first caller caught sleeping on the mic? Hoyt, what do you do with these? Do you immediately run them off the line? Sorry.
Yeah. Going once, going twice, you gone, kid.
That's hell. Oh, wait. Oh, that might be on me. I didn't have them on speaker. Are you there with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, damn. That would have been awkward. Woo. Thank God. What's up, brother? Who do I got the pleasure of speaking with?
Scott Green, man.
Scotty, what's up, baby?
Nothing much, man. Just excited. Able to capitalize on a great season. I was going to say, like Jamie mentioned, I've only ever felt confident not giving up on a game that looked out of reach twice. That first was the Rose Bowl, and the second was this game, despite all the errors. The one thing I was going to ask the guys, do you think now that Georgia's beaten Bama and did it on the biggest stage possible, all the uncharacteristic issues, all the penalties, all the mental lapses, do you think that goes away the next time they face off?
Ooh, great question. Appreciate you, brother. Go ahead, Dan.
I do. I really think that was the mental hurdle that they had to get over. And to be honest, you beat them and you did not play your best game. The defense was amazing the entire game, but offensively it was terrible. Imagine if we had played our best game. That would not even have been a close game. So, yeah, I think that was the hurdle that we needed to get over. I think there's nothing in the way now. There's no excuses. It's time to go.
Time to roll. Todd.
Yeah.
You won't give that easy, but you won't do a Go Dogs.
Come on, man. Come on, man. That was funny. Come on, that was funny. Come on, Hoy. I know you can't laugh at that now.
Yeah, I can.
It's
still not
no
funny.
Longer your daddy.
But
You're no longer their prison little girl. You know what I'm talking about. Like, you own the roost right now. Walk around.
Thomas Tyson summed it up the best. Unsubscribe. There you go, Tom.
Ouch. Ouch. We do have another phone call. Let's go out to it. I believe this is Griffin, Georgia. Griffin, what's up, baby?
You're close enough anyways. Thomaston.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah, SSL Andrew here, man.
Oh, I knew. That's why I didn't even ask your name. I knew exactly who it was.
I say at this point, you ought to know. Anyways, I have a story for you, actually, because, the question was proposed earlier about what this means for Georgia fans. And I didn't really have an answer, but yesterday, my dad and I were wanting to have steaks for dinner tonight. Not that that's really any of consolation of this. Our charcoal grill is falling apart and we didn't have any gas. So we went up to the store to change out the propane tank. When we were in the store, there was a gentleman in there, older gentleman, I'd say in his 70s or 80s, somewhere in that area, was walking with a cane, and it wasn't steady either. He had a Georgia hoodie on, like a sweatshirt. Had just the dogs on it, red and gray. I looked at him and I said, gave him the customary "Go Dogs." And Brooks, I kid you not, when he looked at me, I saw 41 years of pain just fall away from him. Just fall away from him, man. I can't explain it any more than that.
Did you hug the man?
No, I didn't hug the man, but literally,
we're in a pandemic, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. No pandemic hugs. You're right.
Yeah,
Hoyt said we're in a pandemic, dude. Good call.
But man, I would say a shout out to a dog who I can guarantee you is not going to get a lot of call out for him. William Poole had the game of his life.
Game of his life. Absolutely.
The game of his life. And I just want to shout that man out. And one other thing, I tell you what, I've never seen a town rally around a guy like this town has for Trayvon Walker. His name is everywhere around here.
Oh, that's right. You're down there in Upson Lee territory, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, SSL baby, I appreciate you. We gotta hit a dirt track soon, okay?
Yeah, amen on that.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah. Hey, Justin, you think SSL is a Miller Lite guy, or what do you think? What do you think he's rocking? You talked to SSL a little bit.
I could see Miller Lite. Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink all of it. That's basically just watered down. Dude.
I'll never get over your fucking voice. Never, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I hope you sound like that the rest of your life. No offense. I hope we just.
This is basically what my dad sounds like. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll
wait.
I
don't want to explain what Justin's day job is too much here. Okay, but he came up during signing day to help me out with the production skills here in the studio, doing my simulcast. 5-hour broadcast, no big deal. Had like 9 signees on there. It was a whole shindig. He came up there to help me out. And sorry, guys, we're no longer taking phone calls because I've had enough. It's already over an hour. But anyways, so Justin comes up there, and he's like, "Hey, man, I gotta do a couple Zoom meetings, like just in between." And I'm like, "All right, that's fine." Justin's job title, essentially, Hoyt, is to run and train people on some type of software, whatever, over Zoom. Okay, so every day he has to get on and have these meetings. He had to run 2 of these meetings today, sounding like this.
Yeah, I mean, basically. I mean, one of them was a sales meeting, but I mean, oh my gosh, my first call was just with my director, and he messaged me before the meeting. He was like, "Hey man, I got some questions for you. Can we chat about the meeting?" I'm like, I mean, I could try to talk, but I'm not gonna sound all that great.
He gave all he had. You're making fun of him. He gave all he had on Monday night.
I'm not making fun of him.
That's right. That's right.
He left it all on the field. Dude, you sound like me after every bachelor trip I've ever taken in my life.
You got to bring it from the diaphragm.
No, they ain't shit to repair that. That's rest and recovery. That's ice and stem, as the trainers would tell us back in college. Just rice, baby, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. That's it. All right, gentlemen, I've had enough tonight. Let's plug away some stuff right quick. Cam and Dan They will be back on our off-season content over on the Film Guy Network. We will be doing tailgate tapes at some point again. I don't know if I'll be running it. I might be handing over the keys to my boys here because I know they're super passionate about it and they're really talented at it. Justin Nichols also has his own YouTube page. Justin, the Logan Johnson video, what's it up to now? Are we north of a quarter million?
It's kind of paused right at 300,000 right now.
Okay, so we are north of a quarter million. Go shout out Justin Nichols on YouTube, and if you need any type of sporting or video photography, videography, anything, shout out Justin Nichols. Hoyt, when are you back on the radio? 680
tomorrow. 680 The Fan. Starting at 2, Chuck and Chernoff. Then 6 to 8 Audio Fun Bag.
Well, if you need some good content, some wholesome takes, come holler at your boy. I'll be free.
I'm gonna hit up one of these 3 guys instead. Now you're
off. It's bucket list for me.
Let's go. Don't think I haven't noticed how sweet you getting on Graham Coffee, brother. Don't think I ain't noticed that shit.
Oh yeah,
I got you, bro. I got something for you, Hoyt.
Graham showed up to Indy, kid.
Oh, I got COVID, kid.
Whoa!
Yeah,
he dropped the COVID bomb on me.
Breaking. No, all seriousness, Graham Coffee does good shit. I'm glad you got him on. That dude needs some rub, especially when he's out here on the East Coast, because I know he's out there in Colorado. Shout out Dogs Out West. We called out the whole Dog Stats and Dogs Out West crew tonight. Appreciate you guys, honestly, for listening. We've got a shizload, okay? We're going to holler at all these guys later, okay? I'm going to close you guys out. We've got a bunch, and I mean a bunch of content. I don't mean to be a salesman. We did, an hour and 5 minutes of Go Dog fans, okay? Let's sell some subscriptions right now, okay? I've got an entire giveaway going on over Patreon, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. We've got a signed Kirby Smart mini helmet, a signed Kirby Smart National Championship football, a load of SI memorabilia commemorative issue editions. They're all going to Patreon subscribers, okay? We will be giving them out via an award ceremony that we will broadcast live here on YouTube. Full shebang, full kit and caboodle, okay? So if you want to be a member of that family, feel free to check us out, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. My boy SSL just threw it in the YouTube live comments. It's also in the description below, okay? We are one of the closest and tight-knit families in all of the space. I truly believe that. There is only one space in this entire network, okay, of all the beats that allows people that are in our community to dictate and partake in the content, okay? These guys that are on here, I haven't known them my whole life. These are lifelong friends that I've made over the last calendar year over on Discord with just the fam, okay? So if you want to join that fam, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. And, of course, we are in off-season video content, dude. We are in off-season grind the tape, okay? All these dudes that are making decisions, we're going to look at every single one of them on tape. All these guys that are coming back fighting for positions and starting jobs, we're going to look at them on tape, okay? Most of it will be over on Patreon. I'm not even going to flex on you, okay? It's time to grow that thing, and it's time to be a part of that family. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I will see you next time.